Hey there, it's iRun here, and I am here to show you how to start up your own Nether server. And this is how you can start up a public server or a private server. So I'll put a link in the description to a couple of different posts from the Nether game, or the Phosphor Games, that explain how to do it. But even afterwards, I had to get a little bit of help, and I just want to share that with you. So the first thing you have to do is you have to get into your Steam library to find out where the Nether server files are located. So if you open up Steam, as you see here in the window, and you go to your library, go to Games, and then as you can see, I have Nether already highlighted here because I was in previously. Right click over here on Nether and go down to Properties. Then from here, what you want to do is go to your local files, and you want to browse your local files, and that is going to bring up this game folder. So from here, if you go into Game and you go into Binaries, you're going to find a file called Launch Nether Server, and that's what you'll want to use. So what I've done is I right click on it, I put Send To, and I create a desktop shortcut. So you'll need to do that as well, and or that makes it easier, and then I'll show you from there what's next. So all that you'll do is you'll just launch that there. Now the other thing that I do, if you also go into the Win64 file, you'll also see the Nether game. You'll want to right click on that, say Send To Your Desktop. And the reason why is if you're hosting the server on the same computer that you're playing on, you'll need to make a little bit of an adjustment, and I'll show you how to do that. Or if you want to send this to your friends for a private, to where it's not showing on the public server list, then there's a little trick that you'll have to do. You'll have to send them the IP of where your server is being hosted, and you just don't set it up as the dedicated server. So let's go ahead and close that out, and from here now we can actually close out the Steam altogether. So on my desktop here, you'll see I have one that says Launch Nether Server and Launch Nether itself. Now this one's a modified one, and I'll show you that in a minute. Well, actually, let me show you that now. So what you'll do, after you get Nether launched, you need to go to Properties, and this is for you, and on this line here where it says Target, after the end where you see nether.exe, and it'll probably be over here, so you'll probably have to scroll, you need to put a space after the .exe and type in 127.0.0.1. and then just click OK, and what that's going to do, that's going to allow you to connect to the server after you launch it. If you put it to where you can see it in the public server list, you still cannot connect to it, at least at this point through there. And then also, if you are hosting this but you don't want to put it on the public network, but you want your friends, this is also where they'll type in your IP address to your server. And how you can find that out is if you go out here to www.whatismyip.com and press enter, it'll show you the IP address. Now I'm not going to do that right now, but I'll also put the link to this down in the description below. So from here, you get a couple of choices. So what you want to do is go ahead and launch Nether. Launch the Nether server, and it asks you can get up to 64 players. I've been launching around 16, but for the sake of this one, I'm just going to put 1. Then it asks you for the server name, so I usually put mine up as iRun 365 Gaming. You can put it up as however you want to put it up. Press enter again. A welcome message, say welcome to my server, don't kill me, or whatever you want it to be. And then right here, if you press no to be in a dedicated server, it will not show up in the public server list. If you type yes, it will show up in the public server list. So with no, you can not publicize it. You can actually play on the server yourself, loot, build up your supplies, whatever you want to do. Or if you press no and you go to that www.whatismyip.com and share your IP address like I showed you previously with your friends, you can share this video with them as well, then they can connect to your server even without it being in the public list. They would just add that that number range on after the .exe. In this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and say yes, and we're going to say it says launching dedicated server, and then I'm going to show you what that looks like. So it brings up this line of code here. Let me just let me make this a little bit bigger. So it brings up these lines of code. You can see it's still loading. But I believe even as it's doing this right now, you technically can start connecting. I know once I see log kismet dawn, log kismet midnight, I think it does no one for day, then you can technically start connecting to the server. You can minimize this however you want to do it. I left mine running overnight last night so people could play, and all I did was minimize it down. Now if I go to launch Nether, again for me I have to have the 127.0.0.1. I click on it and it's going to launch me directly into the game. And as you can see, I'm in the game. Let me just turn down the volume real quick. You can see I'm not actually in the game. Now I'm in the game. And you can see right now it's the server is iRun 365 Gaming. Welcome to Nether. And one player right now. You can see my pings too because I'm hosting it on the computer I'm playing on. So I'm going to go ahead and log off real quick, and I'll show you then that my server is now showing in the public server list. Again, if I had said no to a dedicated server, you would not be seeing it in this list at all. One last thing, there are two ports that you have to open up on your router and have it the port forwarding to your PC that's hosting Nether. It's ports 27015 and port 7777, and they're both UDP ports. I'll have that information down in the description below as well as a link to where I found that out, so that the person who shared that will get credit, because that was a missing piece for me last night. And then lastly, I'll also be sharing a link down in the description below on how you can ban servers at the moment until they get the admin tools out. So two things you can do is not publicize the server, and you can also ban servers if you have, ban users if you have certain ones that join that don't want to follow your rules. But anyway, so this is how you set the server. If you have any questions or if I've forgotten anything, leave them down in the description below. If you've been playing and you have any suggestions, I'm waiting to see when we can actually get some hosting out there. But just want to share that with you. So until next time, this is iRun, and we'll see you